It was staggering for me when 9/11 took place to watch the media tell us how Al-Qaeda was this enemy and that the government had no idea that they had a plan to attack us. I knew they'd been used and created to attack the Russians in Afghanistan. I knew that they had been used to attack the Serbs in Kosovo. And when the Serbs resisted that attack, that NATO had bombed Belgrade into the Stone Age, bombing their power plants, their water treatment, their television stations with depleted uranium weapons. Now, a decade later, their birth defects have more than tripled in those cities that were bombed. These are ruthless globalists. And to see the rebel commander brag to the Washington Post and others that, yes, I've killed Americans in Iraq, and now I only, quote, hate the Americans 50%. That's right. The groups out of Saudi Arabia and other areas that are in Libya under NATO and U.S. command on record are real Al-Qaeda, real fighters who go all over the world fighting for their Islamic jihad. And they wanted to get rid of Muammar Gaddafi because he was a socialist and secular. He paid lip service to Islam. He did obviously keep a lot of money for himself and was corrupt, but in the standards of dictators, did build up the country, did have a welfare state, and that's all bye-bye now. Libya is going to be driven into the Stone Age, just as America is. Right? Total industrialized looting. And our military's having their pension funds looted. It is being announced they're looking at cutting military retirements by 50%. Those that serve 20 or more years and have a contract with the government, they're going to cut what you're paid and devalue the rest of it via hyperinflation. What, did you think you could join the U.S. military and ship heroin out of Vietnam? Did you think you'd join the U.S. military and go down to Colombia and kill the FARC to consolidate the cocaine? What, you think you'd train Los Zetas, 10,000 plus over the last decade, and then send them down to Mexico to try to knock out the cartels, and that you would then ever get your pension fund too? Of course, the average military person didn't even get any of the drug money and isn't aware of it and is compartmentalized. But we have a lawless criminal government. Completely lawless, completely criminal, and they're now engaging in bolder and bolder activities. I'd say the type of corruption we saw under George Herbert Walker Bush, a 3.5 on the Richter scale. It was going on, but they were trying to keep it hidden. Under Bill Clinton, a 5 on the Richter scale. Under George W. Bush, a 7 on the Richter scale. Under Obama, it's a whopping 10. Remember, it grows exponentially on the Richter scale. I mean, now he's just, I don't need Congress for war. I don't need Congress for UN Agenda 21 carbon taxes. I'm going to deploy the military under the Rockefeller Foundation. That's in the news yesterday. In the Rural Council run by Homeland Security and the Pentagon in your town with a local office to help you with loans and things. Ooh, boy, we are going under Soviet control. Everything the system's doing now is trying to outrage people, trying to make people angry. And I remember 3 years ago getting the MIAC and Homeland Security reports where they're teaching police the #1 threat is returning veterans, that the veterans are evil, and that they support the Constitution, and actually, says they talk about the Constitution. They're pro-Second Amendment, and they're the #1 terror threat. And they taught police in every city, veterans will attack you. It's not a question of if, but when. Veterans are going to kill you. And I'm like, man, that is bold to switch from Al-Qaeda to the veterans. And it's bold to actually use Al-Qaeda against Gaddafi. And it's bold to bar the first responders from the 10th anniversary. And if you're a new listener, I know that sounds like a lie. Fox News, AP, CNN. Again, I was on a syndicated show this morning, and they didn't believe me at first. And I don't blame them. When I saw this on Monday, I saw we had a link to CNN on Infowars.com, and I clicked it. And I was like, am I reading that? So then I went to the government press release about it. And this is what tyrants do. I mean, they just get crazier and crazier and crazier, but they're crazy like a fox. They're trying to break our will for the general public, but also make a lot of people go over the edge. And then they won't have to provocateur. I mean, I can't tell you, folks, how many 75-year-old veterans there are who served 25 years, 23 years in the Army or whatever, and they take their pension away. They're going to get angry. And then when their house is getting repossessed and the sheriff comes with the deputies to take their home, it is not going to be pretty. How about the sheriff just doesn't take the house? How about we say, you know what, give us the $28 trillion back, or $27 trillion back we've given you foreign banks, that more than pays for all the delinquent mortgages 7 times over, pays for all the mortgages in the U.S. almost twice, not just delinquent, but all of them. How about you just give us our tax money back, and then we'll talk about taking Grandpa's house. It is going to be absolutely horrible, and we're going to have to watch the murderers, the social engineers who've done the attacks, grandstand as our saviors. And as the public gets scared during a depression and during a war, they think you're going to go along with their takeover of America. And it's time for every radio talk show host, every police officer, every pastor, every college professor, every school teacher, every doctor, every lawyer, every auto mechanic, every farmer, every rancher, every factory worker, every lawn person. I don't care what you do. Every retail clerk. To count the cost, to face history, to realize that while we've been tuned into a false reality of football and celebrity and all the rest of it that people are such experts on, that reality's been going on all around you. While you're busy out in the middle of a field watching a television, and you think that television's the only thing in the world, you didn't hear the wolves howling. Now the wolves are all around you in the dark, and you can look out from the glow of the TV in the middle of this field we're in collectively and see their eyes and hear their growling. And the television's telling you, those are friends. Lay down. Show them your neck. They want to lick it. And the TV says, lay down. The wolves are here to help. And many Americans are going, okay, all right, here's my neck. And we watch as Americans are grabbed by the wolves and drug out into the night. Good people have to get together around a code of ethics and ideas and defend those, or civilization always falls. One of the globalists' biggest problems to handle is how do they balance the countries they're looting, and how do they keep safe havens for themselves to move to after they've totally destroyed societies. They want to play the military-industrial complex foot soldiers, the police, the military, the private contractors, off against the American people. But the 30 pieces of silver you're being given to carry out the destruction of America, the conversion of America to a third world dictatorship of the plutocrats, you're destroying your own nest, your own future, your children's future. You are selling your birthright for nothing. For nothing, for a pittance. But I just want to impart to you the magnitude of this. We are entering a nightmare tyranny. There is no doubt. A nightmare. It could stop any time people start valuing liberty. But when the average man thinks that being a man is lifting weights and having big muscles and strutting around and watching football and driving a big pickup truck, and I like big pickup trucks too, I'm saying that's not, being a man doesn't mean you act like you're a man and act like you're looking for trouble with somebody that cuts in front of you at the grocery store at the liquor aisle. Being a man means you're informed. Being a man means you're involved. Being a man means that you see it as your absolute mission to defend our republic. Whatever the cost is. And being a man means you have the courage to not be brainwashed and buy into the false psychological warfare paradigm that you're fed. I'm just here to tell you right now that this isn't a game, and everybody better get their stuff in line. You better get our business together. And that means all of us. I was talking to my wife last night, and I said, listen, we have got to get the hatches battened down. We got the water filters, we got the firearms, we've got the food, but I said, I want to get more storable food. And I said, we've got to talk to all of our families, even if some of them laugh at us, and we've got to tell them to get ready. Even if some of them don't listen. Most of my family has listened. And what you do is you have special forces that are either inserted or deep cover operatives, and one person, a real terrorist, can go dump chlorine gas into the air conditioning system of a high-rise building, kill 10,000 people. And I'm not letting secrets out here. This is all well known. One or two operatives can burn down 5 or 6 skyscrapers with timers. All you do is truck gasoline up into them. A 20-person team could have Austin looking like World War III in 1 hour. Okay? The Russians have these systems. The Chinese, admittedly, have more than 20,000. That's come out in congressional reports. Stay-behind operatives. They're running grocery stores. They're working at factories. I mean, they've got saboteurs everywhere. And the United States and private corporations, they have saboteurs everywhere. Now, the U.S. has saboteurs inside the U.S. They've got 5,000 Iraqis they brought in and sheep-dipped. That came out in the L.A. Times in 2003. They've also got the other system, InfraGard, which are over 100,000 executives who have shoot-to-kill orders of their employees if they don't follow orders during martial law. And you got all these guys on power trips with their gun in their desk and their little FBI security card. And if a lot of these idiots, if they're told blow up the chemical plant, they'll do it. It's just, every time I think about it, I get chills. I was jogging this morning. It's like I'm a menopausal woman or something. I mean, my whole life, I've had a bad feeling. And every time it's right, I get up and somebody's breaking in my car outside, even though I didn't hear a noise. Or something tells me, don't walk into the field house. And then I go, oh, I'm going to go ahead and walk in. And then somebody's cousin, who I got in a fight with, blindsides me and breaks my nose. And I'm like, wow, should have listened to that. My whole life I have this chill I get. And I don't get it watching horror movies. I don't get it. Now, I only get the chill when like deep down my body, my soul is saying, man, this is, and now I'm getting chills 50 times a day. Something bad's about to happen. I'm telling you, folks, it's going to be bad, like nothing we've ever seen. It could be suitcase nukes. It could be anything. But I'm telling you, I'm getting chills all the time now. Chills, 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 chills. And it might just be grief for this country, but just watching the lawlessness of the government and knowing that they're getting away with it, well, they're going to just do more.